Hey y'all, my name is Babbles, and welcome back to Building Tales, the series where I teach myself how to build using stories. This week, I'm still building in Cinderella, but I'm taking inspiration from the Vietnamese version of the tale, Tấm and Cám, although please pardon my pronunciation. In the last two episodes, I built a tree and a house inspired by two other versions of Cinderella, but in this episode, I'm going to be building a palace, and it's going to be inspired by some ancient Vietnamese architecture, but I am going to include a few fantastical elements in it, stuff that maybe isn't so realistic, and I'm going to put it right here. So let's get started. So I've flattened out the terrain here, and I've built these two buildings. These are going to be the wings of the palace, and there's going to be a larger building in between them. But I wanted this build to feel very symmetrical, so I made the wings identical. And roofs are actually kind of one of the things I struggle with the most in Minecraft, so I wanted them to have a little bit of a shape. And so I made these corners just using some upside down stairs and slabs. And then I wanted there to be a little bit of movement along the edge. So I just added that in with more slabs. So yeah, I'm going to get started on the central part. So I have now built the central building for the palace. This will be the main section of it. And the process of building each of these 4 floors was basically the same as the one before it. I just have the terracotta and then the sandstone with some bamboo outlines and mangrove pillars like I had on the wings. And I also brought in that kind of wavy roofline from the wings just to make the whole building feel more cohesive. But as you can see on the upper levels, I went a little bit more extreme with the corners. I wanted it to have a lot of movement. So now I'm going to work on some outside details. Okay, so outside details are done. I have this little opening so that you can get through the building, and I've got it on the other side as well. I wanted to do these decorative windows because I saw a lot of those when I was looking up Vietnamese palaces and temples, and they just looked really cool. And I wasn't quite sure how to replicate that, but I think I've done my best, and I am very satisfied with how it came out. I put the birch trapdoors behind it just so that it would have a little bit of contrast and could stand out better. And to kind of reference Cinderella, which is heavily associated with midnight, I wanted it to kind of have these moon shapes. So it's kind of like two crescent moons and then a full moon in the middle. And then I've got more windows up on the other levels. And then I've got these balconies out here, which aren't fully decorated yet, but I'm thinking this one can kind of be just a little hangout spot. And then the one on this side, I want it to kind of be like a terrace garden. So I want to have a lot of plants on here eventually. And on the sides here, I wanted to have these walkways. I think they'd probably be called breezeways between the main palace building and the wings so that you could get through easily but have a little bit of fresh air. And yeah, I'm really liking how it's turning out so far. So we have a storage room, and a kitchen, and a ballroom. So the build is finished. Here is the palace with the 2 wings, and here we've got a balcony, and we have that little terrace garden I was talking about. And now here's the thing. This is pretty big, but it's not really the size of a full palace, and that's kind of on purpose. Palaces can be absolutely massive, and I really wanted to focus in on the parts that would be used in the Cinderella story, like the ballroom and the places of the palace that would provide the things that would go into a ball, like food and decorations and things. So I just did a slice of the palace. That being said, this is only part 1. I'm going to be expanding on this build in the next episode, and as you can see, the terrain around here is a little bit messy, so I'm going to be working on that. Now, one thing that I'm very proud of in this building is the interiors, because I'm not very good at interiors, but I think this looks pretty nice. That being said, I do know that it's lacking. And if the whole point of this series is to teach myself how to build and do these things, this is a great starting point. This is a great thing to look back at and say, look how far I've come. So yeah, it may not be perfect, but it's definitely the best thing I've done so far. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you like, subscribe if you so choose. Let me know in the comments what story you would like me to take a look at next, and don't forget to check out a book from your local library. See y'all!